Hello everyone. In the last video we went into linear functions. In this video we're going to go a bit deeper into that by looking into simultaneous equations. For that we will first look at what the equation of a line is and how we can write that down. Then we will have a look at rearranging such an equation, and finally we will go into solving simultaneous equations. So to start off, let's have a look at the equation of a line. Usually we will write a line as y equals ax plus b. This would be an equation because it has an equal sign in between. So it says that the left and the right are equal, so it's an equation. An example of this one would be y equals 2x minus 6. But this is not the only way we can write the equation of a line. It can also, for instance, look like this: px plus qy equals r. This looks a bit more complicated, but as an example, it could be 6x minus 3y equals 15. We still have just an x and a y and some numbers. But why would we want to use that? Because in the top one, 2x minus 6, we can see what the gradient is, what the y-intercept is. We can't really see any of that in the second one. The thing is, we often get this second type from stories. Let's say you know that if you buy 10 pens and 4 erasers, together they will cost €6. Then you can turn that into an equation of 10p plus 4e equals 6. 10 pens plus 4 erasers equals €6. This is an equation of the second type, where all of the variables are on the left side. The downside is that we can't really do much with this equation right away. So what we are going to do is we're going to rearrange it into that y equals ax plus b form. So let's have a look at that rearranging. For rearranging, we might want to express e in terms of p. That means we want to write it as e equals something. Of course, we can also express p in terms of e and write it as p equals something. But in this case, let's go for e equals. Now, if we want to get it to e equals, then we have to get rid of that 10p. So we're going to start by doing minus 10p on both sides. We're going to be using the balance method throughout this. If we do minus 10p on both sides, we get 4e equals 6 minus 10p. Well, then we still have this 4 that's in the way, so we divide by 4 to finally get e equals 1.5 minus 2.5p. If you want more of a reminder of how this rearranging works, then you can have a look at my rearranging video. So that is the different types of equations for the line and rearranging that. Now, this comes back when we have a look at simultaneous equations. So what does it mean to have those simultaneous equations? It means that you have two of these equations that are true at the same time. So that might mean that you start with two pieces of information. You don't only know that 10 pens and 4 erasers cost €6, but also that 5 pens and 5 erasers cost €3.75. This gives us a set of two equations at the same time, and they have to be true at the same time, so they are simultaneous. So what we're going to do is we're going to rearrange both of them. The first one is the same as in the previous slide, so we already know that it's e equals 1.5 minus 2.5p. We still have to rearrange the second one, and we have to rearrange it to the same variable, so it still has to be e equals. Meaning we're going to get rid of this minus 5p by doing minus 5p. And then we get rid of the 5 by dividing by 5, and we get that e equals 0.75 minus p. And now we have two equations, two formulas. So what we can now do is we can set them equal to each other to find their point of intersection. And again, we can solve this equation. I explain how in my solving linear equations video, to get that p equals 0.5. And we can then find out that erasers costs 0.25 cents by filling it into one of the formulas. In this case, I filled it into the second equation. And from that we can draw our conclusion, which means that pens cost 50 cents and erasers cost 25 cents. So let's just recap. What did we do to solve this set of simultaneous equations? We started by rearranging them to the same variable, in this case to e equals. This entire process still works if you rearrange to p equals. That is entirely up to you, as long as you rearrange them to the same variable. After the rearranging, we set them equal to each other. We solved the equation that we got, and then we filled in our answer to one of the formulas, to one of the equations. And last but not least, we draw our conclusion. And with that, we have solved a set of simultaneous equations. That's all I had to say about solving simultaneous equations. Hopefully this helps you work with some different types of equations of a line and helped you solve your simultaneous equations.